महादुर्गायै धीमहि तन्नो भगवति प्रचोदयात्। ॐ महाशूलिन्यै विद्महे महादुर्गायै धीमहि तन्नो भगवति प्रचोदयात्।
Greetings. This is TK Trav, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777.
महादुर्गायै धीमहि तन्नो भगवति प्रचोदयात्।
Today, we're going to talk about procrastination and putting an end to it.
महादुर्गायै धीमहि तन्नो भगवति प्रचोदयात्।
Okay. All right. Greetings. Hope that you're having a fantastic evening this evening. So, peace to everybody who is currently present. Anna Molly, peace. Bella, peace. Oracle of Medusa, peace. J. Bald Hayo, peace, my brother. Can't nobody do me like Jesus. Oh, no audio. Testing. Let me know if you can hear me. Ard Quark, peace. How's the audio? I see one person says it's off, one person says it's fine. Use is familiar. Missed you yesterday, but I'll get to you on the next one. All right, well, Anna Molly's giving me a thumbs up. I'm going to trust your opinion. All right. Hot tamale. Okay, so as I said, today we're going to talk about procrastination. And here's why. If you haven't observed, we're in a very special time period right now. And what's so special about this time period is that there are no conflicting astrological signs whatsoever. So what that means, what that translates to you as, is the fact that right now is a very clean and simple time for you to do whatever you need to do without any excuse, without anything stopping you whatsoever. So if you've got plans, if you've got goals, if you've got dreams, you should be getting some type of inner motivation to know that right now is a perfect time to get started on these things. And we're actually getting closer and closer to the most perfect time, because on Sunday is a new moon in Pisces. And if you know anything about astrology, you'll understand that Pisces is the dreamer sign. Not only the dreamer, Pisces is the old man, young child, the end and the beginning of the zodiac. In terms of what the signs represent, Pisces is the final sign, meaning that Pisces is the accumulation of all of the influences of the previous 11 signs. So, in a way, Pisces has access to the best of the best qualities. Now, to balance that out, Pisces is the perpetual dreamer. Pisces is constantly playing out different scenarios in the imagination. And while that can be utilized for greatness, it's often utilized for escapism. So with this new moon being in Pisces, Yusuf Familiar says it's a super new moon. Even better, right? So we just talked about Pisces. Understand that a new moon represents beginnings, right? A new moon represents initiation. A new moon represents the time where the things that you start the things that you begin are going to have an exceedingly strong chance of continuing, right? Now, of course, you can do what you want when you want, with or without acknowledging the influences of the powers that be. Sure. But just like it's gonna be better for you to plant certain crops in the summer versus in the winter, likewise, there are times to do things that will be more useful and appropriate. Richard Tracy, peace, peace. Peace and greetings to everybody present. I think I missed some people, but I'm not sure who I missed. So, all right. So, Bella says, "Yes, God, come on now. I've been trying to break into the tech world. This is your time. This is your time." And resist the urge to be presented with so many different options that you actually don't choose. Just pick one. Just pick one, because what you'll find is that in the process of learning and growing, you'll find that in the process of actually doing, you'll start to learn options that you would not have been presented with, avenues that you would not have arrived at had you not just started something. So dive in. Whatever is on your mind right now, just do it. Just do it. Figure it out as you go. And like I said, this is what this video is going to be about. We're going to talk about procrastination. So there's going to be somewhat of a quick exercise. And if you want to go through this exercise during the video, that would be optimal. Otherwise, you can maybe write it down and do it later. I'd suggest doing it now, because by the end of it, perhaps you'll be motivated enough to get started. Super new moon. Auna El Rey. Peace, peace. And by the way, I want to let you know that I've been talking a lot about the cyclomancy class. We're still doing that. But like I mentioned yesterday during my tarot card reading, because of this beautiful opportunity right now to do something new and to initiate and to build for the rest of the year, because of that, I'm actually going to focus my energy for the rest of this month on really getting down to the motivation of using these energies, also planning, and also extracting the inner resources that will allow me to continue this process. And I'm also going to put together a quick little 2-week workshop. So if you want to do this with me, if you want me to help you personally, you'll have an opportunity to do that. And the whole thing is time is of the essence, right? Time is of the essence. So with this workshop, I want to help get quick results as quickly as possible. And by results, what I mean is, like, you'll be clear on what it is that you want to do. You'll also have, like I said, the inner resources to continue through the rest of the year. And you'll be able to find some inner motivation to, just ultimately do your best and become your best. More on that a little bit later, probably tomorrow. But in any case, when it comes to this procrastination, let's get started. So first, what I want you to do is to think in your head about something that you know that you should be doing, but you're allowing procrastination to distract you. So think right now of what it is that you're procrastinating on. I know something that I'm procrastinating on. Right? I can see clearly in my head this thing that I'm supposed to be doing, and I can see that I've had time to do it, and if I had started on it, I would be probably halfway through by now, if not completed with it. So I want you to think about something that you are procrastinating on right now. Access that in your mind. See it in your mind's eye. Let me know in the chat if you have something clear, or if you're still working on that. Hot tamale. Ro Rockin'. Peace. Good evening, Matthew Watson. Peace. Welcome. Nice to have you with us. Okay, so Richard Tracy is clear on my mind. Excellent. So we've got this thing that we're procrastinating on. Art Quark says creating art, mindful meditation. Yeah, we all have something we're procrastinating on. If you're in this chat, I promise you got something. Rude Boy Reacts says reading books. Okay, cool. Right? See in your mind the thing that you're supposed to be doing and you have procrastinated on. And what I want you to do now is we're gonna dissect this. We're gonna break this down. This is how you're supposed to go into the mental plane and perform surgery so that you can help yourself be fully operational. Now take this concept of the thing you've been procrastinating on. Now what I want you to do is to go right in front of it and analyze the triggers that cause the procrastination. Analyze the triggers. What is it that sets off your procrastination? When you think about this thing that you should be doing, I want you to analyze what is the trigger that forces you. Peace, Simpson Maestro. What's the quote from W.E. Butler? I desire to know in order to serve. So I want you to think about this procrastination. And I want you to analyze the trigger. What is it that sets it off? I know for me, when I think about this thing that I should be doing, I'm supposed to be doing, as soon as I think of it in my mind and I say, hey, we should probably do this, immediately anxiety kicks in. Right? Immediately anxiety kicks in. So I think about this thing that I should be doing. I don't even get to the point where I visualize myself doing it. As soon as I think of it, anxiety kicks in. And I find that my animal body begins to search for something else to do to distract myself. Right? So I want you to look at your trigger and play it out. Is it something that you hear? Is it something that you see? Is it something that you feel? What is the trigger for you to actually go into the procrastinating action? Like I said, for me, as soon as I think about it, my body starts to build up anxiety and I immediately go searching for something else. I need you to play this through in your head. This is how you fix it. You might even be experiencing anxiety right now just thinking about it, which is the point, right? Like I said, mental surgery. Ro Rockin says, yep, trigger, scared of being a failure. It's backwards and I know it. Don't judge it. We're not here to judge it. Judging doesn't do anything for it. Just acknowledge it, analyze it, right? Analyze it. See it clearly, because usually it happens subconsciously. What that means is it happens below our conscious awareness. I know that this is happening, but I don't pay any attention to it, which is why I end up procrastinating. Same thing with you. So don't judge it, just look at it. Bella 85 says I could be putting more tech apps in, but I get distracted and be like, fuck it, I'll come back. Right? I put one in Monday, but man, I put in so many last year until I just quit it, getting anxiety. Yep, I get distracted. Perfect. That's exactly what I mean, right? So look at that. You're starting to see the cause and how to perpetuate it. It's not as important to simply know what started it. What's most important is to know how you perpetuate it, how you continue that process of procrastinating. So you said you could be putting in more applications, right? But as soon as you think about doing that, you get distracted. You say, fuck it, I'll come back later, right? And you just admitted the cause. The cause is last year you put in so much energy, so much effort, but you did not get a return on your effort. So what did that define to you? If you look at your subconscious mind and you see your behavior, your activity, you're putting these applications in. You're hopeful, right? You look at the job description, the company, you think, hey, I'd be a great fit. I'm gonna make lots of money. I'm gonna get a lot of experience for myself. You think in these things. And then you put in the application, you don't get any answer. You get rejected. What is that defining to your subconscious mind, right? It's telling you, hey, this makes me feel bad. When I put in this application, I end up with a bad feeling. So it's going into the bad category in your head, right? Just analyze it. Don't judge it. It's not stupid because this is how everybody's mind works. So you can't say it's stupid. This is how everybody's mind works. But notice how we don't fix it. We just keep running with it. And it only gets worse. And now you're beating yourself up because you're like, oh, I should put in these applications. But you don't realize that subconsciously the phrase putting in these applications equals pain. So you avoid it. Let's play this through. Roll Rocket, thank you for your donation. And we just get started. So stay tuned. Let's really get into this thing. Let's get into this thing. Coupe de Villain, peace, peace. Long time no see. So here's the next thing. After you've analyzed your trigger, you've analyzed what exactly happens, like you see this thing, you hear this thing, you feel this thing, and you instantly go into anxiety. What I want you to do now is to accept that. Accept it. Yes, it happens. Accept it. See, acceptance is going to be the strongest tool that we have in this particular exercise, because usually what we do is we reject it and we cause dissonance within ourselves. Like homie said, I know it's stupid, but right, that's rejecting it. Accept it. Yes, this is what I do, and this is what I have been doing for the past couple months. Oh no, don't tell me that news, maestro. That's awful. Rest in peace to a legend living in our time. Creator of Dragon Ball just died. All that energy available. Jeez Louise. Okay, so acceptance. And here's what I mean by acceptance. Think about something else in your life that happens that you just accept, right? For example, say you're in traffic and, I don't know, somebody cuts you off, or it's a red light, right? Even though you got some place to be and somewhere to go, in a way you kind of accept it because ain't really shit you can do about it right now. So you just kind of let it roll off, right? Maybe, I don't know, maybe you're doing something, you experience some kind of delay. Like, think about something that happens and you just kind of accept it. It might be kind of annoying, but you don't really let it get to you because you understand that's just how life works at the time. Like, say maybe you go to the store to get yourself your favorite energy drink and they're out of stock, right? It's like, okay, well, damn. You don't like get pissed off and want to yell at the manager. If anything, you'll just go to another gas station and get the same energy drink because they're at every gas station, right? You come to accept minor inconveniences. And what I want you to do is think about a time in your life where you experienced this minor inconvenience and you kind of just let it slide. Jay Ballerhill says, I need to get back into the gym and stay focused on my occult studies. Yeah. And I want you to analyze, what is it that happens just before? What's the trigger? And also, don't try to pile up too much on this right now. Start with one thing. There's a lot of things that we could probably be doing. I like that, Anna Molly. Don't procrastinate on that like button. Oh my goodness. So what I want you to do next is, after you've accepted this, you've accepted the fact that, okay, I procrastinate, I don't do what I'm supposed to do. Now look at how you have been judging it. Now look at how you've been judging it. After you've accepted it, now let's go back and take another look at it about how we've been judging it. When I procrastinated the thing that I'm supposed to do, the old me would have been like, fuck, come on, you're wasting money, you're wasting time. You're supposed to be doing this by now. We have to do this. We have to do this. I should be doing this, right? That was the old me. Honestly, I've done enough work now where the current me is like, I know I'm going to get it done. I'm not going to stress about it. I prefer to do it now, but I know I'm going to get it done. I know I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to do it. That's me now. But still, it's not getting done. So how do you judge when you notice that you've been procrastinating? Like, say the date's getting closer and closer, and you think about it, you get that anxiety, and then what do you feel about that, right? So here's the thing. I want to point out that there are thoughts and feelings, and we can wrap that in a bubble. And then above that, you have thoughts and feelings about those thoughts and feelings. So what I mean is, there could be this thing that you're supposed to do, then you procrastinate, right? That's the bubble there. You procrastinate on it. But if you zoom out, you actually have thoughts and feelings about that procrastination. And this is where you start to judge yourself. So how are you judging? How are you feeling about your procrastination? Rude Boy React says, I always tell myself I'm going to regret it in the long run. Okay, and that's what I mean. How are you defining? How are you judging this? Because this plays a role in it too. This plays a role in it too, because over time, in the long run, this is becoming a part of your personality. This is becoming a part of your character, part of your aura. So it's not just that the procrastination is hurting you in one way, it's hurting you in two ways. It's hurting you in the first way by the fact that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Then it's hurting you a second way because now you're consistently mentally abusing yourself. You're going to regret this. You're making a mistake. You're making a mistake. You're whispering that to yourself day in and day out. And notice how it doesn't actually motivate you to do the thing. Notice how it doesn't actually motivate you to do the thing. See, like I said before, it's not as important to understand what started a thing, what initiated it. It's more important to understand how you perpetuate it. What are the steps that you continue to do to keep it going? Yeah, Micah says, I see that I'm going to have wished I did something in the past, right? So this is something that you've done before multiple times, and you can already see like, yo, I'm just going to have to add this to the pile of things that I regret, things that I wish that I did, right? And how does that feel? How does that feel? Knowing that you're constantly building up this pile of regret, this pile of unfinished business. Do you think that these type of thoughts build a positive personality? Do these type of thoughts build the type of mindset to actually get work done that needs to be done? Richard Tracy says that language reinforces a negative belief and connotation associated with that activity, thus potentially further perpetuating the procrastination cycle. Exactly it. That's what I'm trying to say without saying it. Really, I want you to look at this and then come to that conclusion on your own. That's what you're doing. The negative language reinforces the negative belief. And what does it do? It keeps you further away from reaching your goals. The language is important. The language is important. All right, so now the next step, I want you to think about this thing that you're supposed to be doing. Right now that we've analyzed the procrastination process, think about this thing that you're actually supposed to be doing. And I want you to think about how important it actually is. How important is it really? For me, it's pretty important, right? It's not something that must be done right now, but it needs to be done pretty freaking soon, right? How important is this thing? So I just talked about the time importance. What other aspects of it are important? What is this thing doing for you? What's this thing doing for you? Peace, Amar. This thing that you're supposed to be doing, what are the benefits that it's adding to your life? And what areas of your life is this thing going to help you? Like, think about the importance of it, because there's another thing we do. We procrastinate and we gloss over We gloss over and ignore why we are doing this thing in the first place. How important is it? How does completing this task affect your life? How does completing this task affect your life? What will it bring to you? What kind of feelings are you going to experience once it's complete? Are you going to feel a sense of relief? Are you going to feel a sense of pride? Are you going to feel a sense of pleasure? As a matter of fact, right now, why don't you close your eyes and tap into the feeling that you would get out of completing this task? I'll do the same thing. So I'm seeing myself completing this task, seeing myself getting the materials together. I'm seeing the clock tick as I put in work. And here's one thing that's coming to mind. One of the things that causes me to procrastinate is I think about how perfect it's supposed to be, right? I think about how perfect I want it to be, knowing that I'm not ready to make it perfect. So I delay. And the hope is that if I delay, I'll spend more time to gather what I need to make it perfect, right? Is that you? Are you somebody that's a perfectionist and you actually delay and procrastinate because you want it to be perfect? Think about that. What's actually the benefit of your procrastination? Because think about this now. When you have these type of inner blockages, it has a positive core. It has a positive core. It has a core that actually is intended to help you and heal you, but it has been mutated and morphed over time, mainly by that negative language. So what's the positive aspect of this procrastination? For me, like I said, I want it to be perfect. I want it to be the best possible quality it can be. I want to do my best. And the reason that I procrastinate is because I know that I'm not ready for perfection yet. I know that I don't have everything I need for it to be perfect. I know that if I just took a little bit more time to gather certain resources, then it would be perfect. Is that you? Dreamstar Films. Peace, brother. Framestar says, I used to beat myself up about it pretty bad and feel guilt because there was so many supposed wasted years to recklessness and hedonism. However, through creativity, I've conquered. Awesome. And maybe a lot of us have these things where we look back on our life and put it in a category, frame it as wasted time. We look back on our life and we frame a lot of the energy that we spent and the experiences that we've had as wasted time, right? And what does that do for your character? What does that do for your personality? What does that do for your mood? These judgments are running in the background. And one of the ways to break that apart, one of the ways to really dissolve that is by finding the positive intention behind this behavior of procrastination. Find the positive intention behind it. Since we're looking at how it operates, since we're looking at some of the thoughts associated with it, let's break down the positive aspect of it. When you procrastinate and you delay and you don't do what you're supposed to be doing when you're supposed to do it, why? Like I said, for me, it's about perfectionism. For you, it might be something else. Now, when I talked about acceptance, like the same way that you would accept if the cash register ran out of receipt paper or she needs to get some more quarters, right? And you got to sit there and wait so they can put the new receipt paper into the register. You don't throw a bitch fit about that. You might look down at your phone, scroll, you might, look around or something like that, but you understand there ain't nothing you can do about it, and it's only going to take a minute. That type of acceptance. When you think about this procrastination and you identify the positive intention behind it, I want you to accept that. Because guess what? With me, it was perfectionism. And you know what I had to accept? Yo, it's awesome that you want to make this perfect. It's great. That's a good thing. But is perfection real? And is what's real perfect? I got that from somebody on this live stream. Is perfection real? And is real perfect? Think about that for real. Think about what I just said. Don't just like hear it in one ear, not the other. For those of you who are perfectionists like me, I want you to answer that question. Is perfection real? And is real perfect? Think about the successes that you've had in life. Think about the achievements you've had in life. How many of them were perfect? How many of them were real? Can you do that? Can you do that? Love you too, Garrett Patterson. Accept that perfection, number one, isn't real, and real isn't perfect. And number two, accept that perhaps your definition of the word perfect might need to be re-examined. Because guess what? You are perfect, and everything you do is literally perfect. It's perfectly imperfect. As a human being, as you playing out your role in this existence, because what you actually are is a beam of light. I mean, that's the best explanation for something impossible to explain. You're not this physical body, and you're not the things that you do. You're not your actions, your behaviors. You're not your past. You're none of that. Those are emanations of what you are. Talked last week about an omelet, right? An omelet. Let's think about an omelet in its essence. When you think about an omelet, you have an idea. It's egg that's folded over with stuff inside. But when you manifest an omelet, when you express an omelet, it's going to be different from mine. Some people like to add heavy cream as they whip the eggs up. Some people like to put salt and pepper in the bowl. Some people like to put the salt and pepper while it's cooking. Some people like tomatoes and spinach and kale and feta cheese. Some people just want some bacon, some sausage, some ham, right? The expression of that omelet is going to be different, but the essence of it is the same. What you are, at your essence, at your core, is light. Is light. And that cannot be changed. That cannot be touched. That cannot be ruined. That cannot be broken. It can't be tainted. And it's not a mistake, and it can never make a mistake. So what actually happens is that all your past, all your behaviors, your actions, the things that you do, they are perfect. Just like your omelet is perfect. It served its purpose, didn't it? You cooked that omelet and you ate it. That was your breakfast. Perfect. And the next one's going to be different. And the next one's going to be different. Each and every one of them are going to be perfectly imperfect. That's the world we live in. Prakriti, the manifest dimension, is perfectly imperfect. Look at Kabbalah. There's a reason why Malkuth is called the kingdom. There's a reason why Malkuth is equal and comparable to Kether. Those of you who know Kabbalah, those of you who have been along with me during these book reads, those of you who have been practicing, you'll know that Kether is equal to Malkuth. But we think that Malkuth is this imperfect wasteland, prison, right? And if that's what you think about Earth and the material plane, then that's what you think about so-called heaven, because they're one and the same. They're a reflection of one and the other. Shiva and Shakti, Purusha and Prakriti, for those of you who've been listening, they're reflections of each other, right? So it's all about how you see it. Are you looking at your life from the angle of being an imperfect being trying to become perfect? Are you looking at it from the angle of a perfect being accepting and acknowledging imperfection as an expression of perfection? It kind of sounds complex, but it's really not. What I'm saying is that the whole activity of judgment and casting yourself as this ruined being that makes mistakes, number one, is programming and mind control, right? Think about certain religions that tell you that you are a born sinner, that you are a born loser, a born failure, destined to be eternally punished just for existing. That sucks. And I can't accept that. I'll never accept that. You can believe that because that's what a lot of people teach. They teach that that's the right thing, that you are a born loser. You're a born failure. Like you failed before you even manifested. That's what they're teaching. Because somebody supposedly did something somewhere billions of years ago, millions of years ago, thousands of years ago, who knows? Because of a mistake, but it wasn't even a mistake. It was a conscious choice, right? When you really break the stuff down, like how does it make sense? So you can go from that perspective. But in that very same book, the second half of it, they teach something a little bit different, don't they? So back to this procrastination, right? Yeah, there's a reason that you do it. It's probably because, like, the good intention. It's probably because you want it to be perfect and you feel like you're not ready, and you're actually protecting yourself from making a mistake, right? You're protecting yourself from doing it wrong. You're protecting yourself from getting laughed at. You're protecting yourself from embarrassment and shame, right? That's what you're actually doing, and that's okay. That's good, right? You want to have your self protection in full operation. You want to have that function of yourself fully operational. But who said that you're gonna fail? Who said that you're gonna get laughed at? Like, it's really weird. I know even for me, this is something I've done many times. Yet every time I have to go do it, these same thoughts come back up. So even though I've proven to myself that my fears are not true, the residual echo of my previous programming is still there. And a lot of you who have done a lot of self-development, you find that out. Even after you do your shadow work, the residual echo sometimes remains. And this is where you learn that shadow work is not a one and done thing. It's something that you must be aware of. You must be aware of when the shadow is making itself known. It might not hold you back anymore, but you can recognize it now. And just understand that you don't have to go in that direction. Who understands what I'm saying? No wonder her life sucks and she's always mad. Right. Care Bear says a lot of people are talking about imposter syndrome these days. I'm glad that it's something I don't struggle with, but it's a real concern for many. What are your thoughts? Yeah, imposter syndrome, it's ironic because for those who really are imposters and scammers and things like that, they don't have this. This only affects people who are being extremely critical of themselves, right? When we're doing the thing that we do, we look at our flaws and our mistakes, and we look at the things about ourselves that don't fit into the category of the word perfect, and we believe that those things disqualify us. We believe that those qualities disqualify us. So we feel like we're being an imposter. And here's the thing, something I learned long ago, maybe not that long, but around 2015, 2016, when it comes to qualification, that is not as important as you think it is. Re-examine the definition of that word. Here's what I mean. So for what I do, what are my qualifications for this, right? Before I started, I was thinking, I'm not qualified to do this. I'm not qualified. And I had to think, well, what's qualified mean? I need to have a degree? Do I need to have gone to school for this? Do I need to have completed the reading of 300 books and then started a YouTube channel? I want you to look at some of the people that you follow, some of the people that you look up to and respect. How qualified are they? And should I say, what is it that qualified them to you? Did you say, okay, well, he got a degree, so I'm going to trust him? Oh, well, this person They did this, that, and the third, so I trust them. No. You know what qualification is? Especially if you're serving people. If you're serving people, you know what the qualification is? You know, the whole time I didn't think I was qualified to read tarot. That's why I never read tarot. And then I just started doing it. Qualification is if you're able to get results, then you're qualified. If you're able to get results consistently, then you're qualified. Are you qualified to teach about a certain subject? Well, can you get the results? Then you're qualified. Oh, well, I got to spend 8 years in the school system. It's people that have degrees that are not qualified because even though they have a lot of knowledge about the thing, they don't get results. They can't get results for themselves or other people, but they got that piece of paper on the wall. Just like with this magic stuff. A lot of stuff I don't really care. I don't really care about where it came from. I don't care about the who did it first, right? Oh, it came from Africa. This is black people. I don't care if it came from India, if it came from Indochina, Indonesia, Indus Kush. If it gets the result, that's what I care about. Does it get me the consistent result? So when it comes to this whole imposter syndrome, doesn't matter about your self-judgments. Can you get the result? Then you're qualified. Star Lion says if Biden or Trump don't have imposter syndrome, then nobody should have it at all. Amen to that. Amen to that. Now look, so we've identified procrastination. We've identified the process of procrastinating. We kind of took a kind and gentle look at ourselves and said, hey, it's all right to feel like you're not ready, you're not perfect, you're not qualified, but do it anyway, because there's a reason you choose to do it. This is going to bring something to you that you want. This is going to bring something to you that you want. So are you going to choose to get that thing you want, or are you going to choose to add another experience to the pile of excuses as to why you're a failure, as to why you're an imposter, right? And that's good intellectually, but let's go a level deeper emotionally, right? Let's go a little bit deeper emotionally and talk about confidence. So now that we've identified an area of where you procrastinate and what you're procrastinating on, let's talk about the opposite, which is confidence. So what I want you to do right now, as I scroll through these comments and try to catch up, take about 90 seconds. Take about 90 seconds. And I want you to think about a time where you were extremely confident, where it was a cakewalk. I want you to bring up an experience in your imagination of a time that you did an excellent job, that you had no doubt in your mind. Think about that. Bring that up, and then let me know in the chat when you have that experience. And don't just think about it. Relive it. Like, go back into your head, go back into your imagination. Look at your posture when you were confident. Look at the type of thoughts that you were thinking to yourself when you were confident. Think about what else you were doing in your life at that time. Think about your confident experience. Take a couple seconds. Think about it. Richard Tracy said there's tons of people who have all sorts of degrees coming out of their business cards and they're broke, busted, and feel disgusted. Damn. All right, so you do have that confidence. Do you have that confident feeling? Do you have that confident memory, that experience? I want you to really extrapolate, right? I want you to juice it. Just like if you take a sliced orange and you put it in the juicer to extract all the juice, I want you to extract all the confidence out of that experience you just had. And while you're feeling confident, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you haven't hit the like button, do that as well. Only 25 likes and there's plenty of y'all here. Come on now. So after you have extracted and really pulled out and juiced that positive, confident feeling of when you were on top of the world, of when you were able to do the thing that you needed to do without resistance, just for this month, I want you to anchor it into a hand sign. Give yourself a strong thumbs up. I'm talking about the strongest thumbs up you can muster. Clench that fist, pop that thumb, give yourself a solid thumbs up. We're going to anchor that feeling of confidence into this gesture. You can change it later, but just for this month, we're going to program yourself with the thumbs up for your confident state. So visualize yourself being confident in that last victory that you had, whatever it was for you. I got one for me. I see what I'm doing. I see the smile on my face. I see my posture, right? I hear the thoughts that I'm thinking in my head, what I'm saying to myself, what I'm saying about the world, what I believe about the world as I'm confident, right? I'm letting all that play out as I give myself this strong ass thumbs up. What I'm doing is I'm anchoring that confident feeling into this, right? Do this. Do this. Do your thumbs up. And I want you to anchor the feeling. I know that you feel it right now and feel it going into your thumbs up. The same with like in an anime, you can see all the energy traveling down your arm and going into the hand because you're ready to shoot a beam of confidence into the world. Anchor it. Anchor it. Let me know who's doing this and who's just listening and deciding that they don't need to, I guess. I don't know. Congratulations to you, Care Bear. Keep it up. I see you're taking action on the thing that you said you wanted to do this year. Awesome. Awesome. I'm proud of you. Keep it going. I remember you saying that you wanted to start doing this, and you're doing it. All right, so let's anchor that thumbs up, right? And moving forward, anytime that you begin to experience your procrastination, that you begin to experience your anxiety about doing what you're supposed to be doing, I want you to pop that thumb up and clench that fist and give yourself this power up. Because what's going to happen if you program yourself, what's going to happen is that when you're feeling like procrastinating and you do this instead, this will start to bring to mind this experience of being confident, this experience of winning, right? We're not done. We're almost done, but we're not done yet. I'm really taking the time to make sure that you're having a chance to pull these memories forward. You need to feel it in your gut. You need to feel it in your body. This confidence. Bella says, I'm doing it, Trav. I see my hair, my sneakers. I hear the words I was saying. Man, I was on fire back then. Exactly. Exactly. Right? See, look. Appreciate that, Ashley. Now I've got my thumbs up, right? Now I got my thumbs up, right? Do your thumbs up. Now what you're gonna do here is take a moment. Now let's kind of shake that off, right? Break that state, because we're doing state changes here. My last video I talked about states, right? You're always in a trance state. So let's go back to the time where you know you should be doing your thing, but you're procrastinating. So think about the very last time, or one of the last 3 times where you procrastinated doing what you're supposed to do. Think about that. Bring it to mind. Put yourself there, right? Shake off that confidence real quick. Let's get back into the procrastination. And I want you to think about the last time that you were supposed to do what you were needing to do and ended up procrastinating instead. Now what I want you to do is, as you see the trigger happening, because remember we talked about the trigger first. We talked about it was something that you saw, something you felt or heard that made you go into the loop of running away and doing something else. Instead of going into that loop, I want you to do the thumbs up. And I want you to play out what would happen if you injected yourself with confidence instead and continued to do the thing that you were procrastinating on. Try that in your mind's eye. In your mind's eye. Rude Boy React says, for some reason, my mind is telling me this is trash. Right. Of course, you'd expect the mind to resist. Like, you'd expect that. And if we just let the mind do what it's always done, you get the results that you always get. So go back to that state of when you were about to procrastinate because you know that there's something you're supposed to do. You pop the thumbs up instead. Now what's different? Now what's different? Mm-hmm. Right. How does it feel? What's the difference? How easy to do what you're supposed to do when you inject yourself with a different state? And don't worry about the bots. Like, at first I thought the bots were here to distract me and throw me off, but that's not possible. I think they're here to throw you guys off. They're here to distract y'all. So ignore those bots. As soon as they're discovered, they're eliminated. Don't worry about that. Worry about yourself right now. Because look, on my live stream, right, the reason that you know that the stuff I'm talking about is impactful is because distraction has now shown its beautiful head. When you go off this live stream and you go out into the world and you're trying to do what you're supposed to do, distractions show up in different forms as well. You're going to pay attention to them and let them throw you off, or you're going to stay focused. They don't bother me, but they still show up. They're here to bother y'all. Focus. Care Bear says, I wouldn't have wasted so much damn time. I hear that. Big Frieza energy. Okay, so let me ask you: is there anybody here who didn't feel a change when you visualized yourself procrastinating and you did your thumbs up? Is there anybody who did not feel a change? And here's what I want you to do for those of you who actually did this exercise, right? And you actually anchored your confidence that you're able to access and pull up whenever you're procrastinating, do you accept that? Do you accept that? Do you accept it? Do you accept the positive outcome? Right? The same way that you accepted the fact that, okay, you want things to be perfect. Okay, well, you're distracting yourself, right? Accept that. Do you accept the fact that you're actually able to achieve your goals now? Do you accept the fact that it can be as easy as a hand gesture to change the whole course of your day? Is that something that makes sense to you that you can actually accept? Love it. Framestar says this technique can be coupled, anchored with out of the body, anchored with out of out. This technique can be coupled, anchored with out body of light, or taught with Shooty experience. Anything, in fact. Absolutely, absolutely. Any experience that you've had that builds up this level of confidence, you can extract those feelings and inject them into other experiences that require that level of confidence. If you feel like you're not very good at meditation, if you feel like you're not very good at visualization, anything that you feel less confident in, anything you feel like you're going to procrastinate on, you're not experienced or qualified to do, you can literally inject this confidence, which will give you a little bit more fire, just enough that you need to actually get over that hump. So just for the rest of this month, whenever you think about a time where you actually succeeded and you were confident and you were successful, do this. Do this to anchor it. Anchor it within your physiology, right? Juice it up, charge it up every time you actually have a success and a victory. And likewise, when you take notice and awareness of yourself, starting to make excuses, starting to procrastinate and distract yourself, accept it. Accept what you're trying to do. You're trying to help yourself, right? You're trying to make sure that you're not going to be embarrassed. You're trying to make sure that everything's perfect. Accept it. Don't get mad. Don't fight it. But then inject that thumbs up for confidence. Say, you know what? Yes, it's going to be perfect. Even if it's not. Especially if it's not perfect. Especially if it's not perfect. Try it. You got about, 20 more days. 20 more days to try this out. Commit with me. Do this for 20 days and see if things change. Look, I'm telling you, the time that we are in right now is incredibly important. I mean, every day is important for sure, but you have no excuse right now to not manifest. This is like the most prime manifestation month of the year. Now, something very similar is going to happen again in June, mid-June, like just before my birthday. There's going to be another astrological opportunity that's going to be that's literally the best manifestation day of the year. But this whole month, I mean, come on. I want you to take advantage of this. So I'm trying to offer as many different tools as I can so that you don't have any excuse to not manifest the things that you want. 11:11. It is 11. So who's going to try this? Who's going to try this for the next 20 days? Because hopefully you'll develop a habit and keep it going. Now, I'm not saying that this next 20 days is going to be like enough time to really fully create the thing that you're trying to create, but it's enough time to get the plans laid out. It's enough time to get very clear on your goals. It's enough time to get started. It's enough time to get the most important work done. You can do that this month. You can do that this month. Do you accept that? Do you accept the fact that you can take the next 20 days to manifest the best year that you've ever had? Do you accept that? Oh my goodness. I'm trying to perform my mighty sword of Ibra activities on my computer, but there we go. Appreciate that, Anamali. Okay, so any objections? Is everybody good? Are we cool? Are we clear on this? Do you feel like this is something that can help you moving forward? I'll ask you an even better question because I'm about to wrap it up here. So I got a lot of work to do myself. Now that I've been using these techniques, I'm starting to get very, very clear plans and ideas for where I want to take the rest of this year. So I got some work to do. Let me ask you this. Are you starting to get clear on your goals? Are you starting to get clear on what you want? And is it practical? Does it make sense? Like, are you able to see the action steps required to get to the next stage? Are you able to actually see that? Or are you struggling with that part of it? Do you know that there's something you want to do, something you want to create, but you're kind of struggling with how to start? Where are you at? Where are you at? I wasted time. I did a lot of things that were not the best use of my time, for sure. But I'm not stressing it. I got today and I got tomorrow. Okay. That's a good one, Maestro. That's a good one. So Michael Kelly says, bro, I'm looking at my hours on Tekken. It's been out for a month and I've put in 400 hours. Wow. But you know what? I was very, very similar to Power World. When Power World came out, I played that way too much. But understand it. And look at what Maestro says to that, right? Maestro responded with, anchor the feeling you get from Tekken on a process for a goal you want. So that's beautiful. Instead of regretting spending all that time on Tekken, think about what exactly, uh, how you feel, right? Something was keeping you there. You weren't playing that game against your will. It was so much fun, right? You were engaged, you were fully engrossed, you were fully saturated with the pleasure that comes with playing that game. So what I want you to do is to extract those feelings, isolate those feelings, like go back into your experience of playing that game. And don't worry about the game. The game is just a trigger for you to access those feelings. The game is just a trigger. Cut the trigger off and just indulge in the positive feelings. And what I want you to do is the surgery. I want you to take those positive feelings, hold it. Matter of fact, condense it into that thumbs up, right? Condense it, package it. Remember how it feels to do your thing. Now go to that activity that you're supposed to be doing, right? Reignite that positive feeling and see yourself doing the activity now with all the enthusiasm of spending 400 hours on Tekken within 30 days. No rejection. Accept it, accept the time that you spent there, accept the skills that you learned, accept the fun that you had, and understand that you probably felt like you deserved to have some fun. You deserved a little break, right? You deserve to enjoy the cool things in life. You deserve that, right? Don't beat yourself up. It wasn't a waste of time. You got what you wanted. Now take that and apply it to something else. There's so many different ways to get into the state that it takes to accomplish what needs to be accomplished. If there's a blockage, just find a different way. but don't stay at the blockage. Don't stay there. I like that. Momosi says, quest received, tactical shadow surgery. It works. I'm not just like speaking something theoretically. This is something I do for myself, right? Oftentimes I get distracted and I lose focus. When I acknowledge and realize it, I don't beat myself up. I look for what I have been wasting my time on, and I extract the positive feelings and the pleasure and the reason why I'm doing it, and I apply it to the new thing that I'm supposed to be doing, and it works like a charm. Works like a charm. You probably have noticed that I'm being a lot more consistent with my content, despite the fact that I'm having a technological setback, right? Lost my computer, got a new computer, and that one broke, right? Lost one of my phones. Hell, the laptop that I'm using right now to keep me going is barely holding up, but yet I'm still able to be consistent in my output, right? I'm still able to keep on going. And I know that once my stuff gets replaced, hell, I'll probably get rid of a lot of the apps that I was using before, because now I'm learning how to streamline my process and do more with less, right? I don't have the big, powerful Macs to use Adobe Premiere and stuff. Right now, I got to settle for CapCut, right? But instead of letting that be something, oh, well, I got to wait till I get my shit back together. No, life is still going. It moves on regardless of what I have. If I had a rock and a stick and a potato and a BlackBerry, I still have to find a way to get it done. Or I could just give up and go back to work at Winn-Dixie or Lowe's, right? And continue to hate my life because I'm not living up to my potential, because I'm not utilizing my energy for what I want to utilize it for. You have an option. You have an option. We all have options. Come on. Come on. Visual OD says, I feel my body react every time I do the thumbs up. I'm going to continue to work on this. Yeah. And like I said, just do it for the rest of the month, right? Don't make this a permanent thing if you don't want to. Just do it for the rest of the month. Utilize this as a way to really continue. Working with less helps you to appreciate when you do get more, when you do come up. That's one thing I do know. I'm no stranger to working with less. But I've known people to stop and say, oh, well, I can't do it because I don't have this or that or a third. We could all choose to say that and give up. But you just didn't want it. You didn't want it bad enough. I want it bad enough. I'm going to make it work. That's my choice. That's my choice. It hurts more to give up. It hurts more to say, oh, well, I couldn't because they wouldn't let me. Oh, I couldn't because I didn't have this. That hurts to me. That hurts more than thugging it out with this weak, with weak options. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so yeah, that was mainly my message today. Richard Tracy says, publish or perish. And you know, interesting thing about that quote, man, like when I first heard that quote, I believe it was what's his name? What's his name? Dan Kennedy. Yeah. No BS newsletter. I first heard that from Dan Kennedy, publish or perish. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to write that on my wall and stick it right up there where I can see it. And I did that. And when I found that in the long run, that quote did not work for me because I wasn't publishing enough. And so because I wasn't publishing enough, the other option was to perish. It didn't motivate me enough to really do the thing. I needed some more work. So I had to take that down. And I put up a more positive, fulfilling quote. And it seems that has worked for me a lot better. But everybody's different, you know. Care Bear says, my 2-year-old twin girls, awesome. My 2-year-old twin girls gave me thumbs up today for the first time. Love that synchronicity. That's dope. That's dope. Afro Ninja says, pain of discipline versus pain of regret. Right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So it's about that time of the evening where I usually have my enjoyment ritual with the people that I enjoy enjoying it with. And then afterwards, when it gets extremely late, I think my most productive creative subconscious time is like a few hours before the sun rises. That's when I like to really go into trance and dig deeply into the underworld and pull out some of those gems that the conscious mind doesn't seem to be aware enough to take notice of. Find your time of the day where you're most productive. For most of us, that's like the first 2 hours when we wake up. Find your point of the day when you're most productive. Find the point of your day when you're most creative. And find the time of your day where it's easier for you to go into trance. Find the time of your day when it's easiest for you to go into trance and utilize those times accordingly. Those times of the day when you have the most energy to work, which is usually the first 2 hours, try to take some of that time and utilize it for yourself. If you have to go to work early, first thing in the morning, wake up before work and try to get something done. Find out the time where you're most creative and spend that time to utilize it properly. And find the time of your day where you are easiest to go into trance. Like I said, for me, it's like 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. Like that stretch of time is when I do my deepest meditation. Like I found that for me. For you, it might be different. And also, for those of you who are interested in astrology, for those of you who are interested in learning about the effects of the planets on you specifically, now is a great time. This came to me in meditation last night. Now is a great time to pay attention where the moon is. And what I want you to do is to analyze yourself while the moon is in its cycle. The moon just entered into Aquarius yesterday, and it will be here until the 10th. So just observe yourself and your behaviors, the type of experiences you have, the type of thoughts that you have, and just get a little journal and write down how you are under the Aquarius moon. I've noticed myself under the Sagittarius moon. Then I started to notice myself under the Capricorn moon that just passed. And I noticed a distinct shift when the moon entered into Aquarius, right? So I wrote that down. Right now, while there are no conflicting relations going on in the sky right now, there's no conflicting, no conjunctions, no retrogrades. Everything is clear, and it's so clear that you can see how you behave under the moon without any type of interference. You're going to be able to use that moving forward. Just like what I said about Kabbalah. How in order to, well, actually, William E. Butler said this. In order to really understand Kabbalah, you've got to be able to trace it back to real life experiences, right? What is a Netzach experience? What is a Binah experience? What is a Gibura experience? Like you've got to be able to define these spiritual terms with personal experience. Same thing goes for learning astrology. What does it mean for the moon to be in Taurus? Well, you got to pull a personal experience. Otherwise, you're just operating theoretically. And that might be okay for you, but I don't do theoretically. I like to get evidence. I like to get something to work with. So if you're interested in astrology, do that. Pay attention to it. Lord have mercy. All right, so like I said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. There's quite a few things to chew on here. Hopefully the procrastination killer works for you. Hopefully the thumbs up technique can work for you for the rest of this month. And perhaps you can tweak it, have more confident moments, and continue to juice it up, power it up. And perhaps your thumbs up can evolve into a, I don't know, double thumbs up or something. Or maybe you can have someone else in your environment give you that thumbs up, and then you can take that and apply it, right? Many ways to work with this stuff. All right, all right. Everything's good. Everything's great. All right, so I hope and trust that you're going to be able to utilize these next couple of days to push yourself into beautiful territory, amazing territory. You're going to be able to manifest everything that you're wanting to manifest. And I'm not just saying that to make you feel good. I'm saying that because you're somebody who's able to get clear on what it is that you want to manifest. You're getting clear on it, right? So it's realistic. So it makes sense. You're able to push yourself, achieve it, bring it into this reality, live in it, enjoy it, share it, and continue the process. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to suffer. You can live your best life. You can enjoy your best life. Right here, right now, give yourself permission to do that and accept these different techniques to do it. Go out and find techniques for yourself. Study yourself, know thyself, analyze yourself, trust yourself, because you're not a fool, you're not an idiot, you're not stupid. Your unconscious mind is much faster than your conscious mind. So sometimes you got to trust your intuition. You got to trust what signs the body is giving you. Sometimes you have a gut feeling about something. Well, you receive that information faster than the frequency of the conscious mind can receive. So just learn how to work with yourself and analyze yourself. Things are going to go so much better for you this year. You just have to step forward and do it. You have to grab it with both hands and put it to use. All right, here we go. We out. We out. Appreciate you all. Looking forward to see what some of y'all come up with. Looking forward to see what some of y'all come up with. Good shit. Good shit. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow. I'll have some good news. More of this type of information. All right, so I'm out. This is TK Trav, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. Peace.